Why ABLE account is important, it's the first time where families that are receiving Medicaid and SSI benefits can actually have a savings account that don't disqualify them for those types of benefits. And ABLE accounts are actually found under the Internal Revenue Code. They're a Internal Revenue Code provision, and they act as kind of a combination between an IRA account and a 529 college plan. So it is a little bit of a confusing type of provision, but it is so important that it gives people that have a disability that they can have their own savings accounts, they can contribute to it and manage it themselves if they have the ability to do so. And it also allows families to make contributions to these accounts, and individuals can have a lot more freedom about how they use the money and what they do with the money. Now, there's, of course, a lot of restrictions with these accounts. Not everybody with a disability or on benefits who can set them up, and people shouldn't be building these things up into large amounts, because if that beneficiary, when that beneficiary does pay it back, all of that money is gone and goes back to the state, and that can be a tremendous loss of wealth that they don't need to do if they would have set it up properly in another type of trust.
I see. Okay, so just I got that, but I want to just make sure I'm clear. The very last part that you said is if we were to set this up and do it with our children, doing the limits that were allowed, the $15,000, and something happens, money does go back to the state. I thought that I understood maybe that you were saying that it goes back to Medicaid expenses only, but does it also get paid back to us?
Yes, it goes back to reimburse the state for Medicaid expenses paid on behalf of that individual. So it's like a payback claim, so the state gets reimbursed out of that money. The only exception is if you have another disabled sibling or half sibling where you could roll that money over to them. That's the only exception to the payback. You do not pay back SSI benefits. So the monthly check, you do not pay that back. It's just Medicaid assistance, medical expenses that Medicaid paid, Medicaid services that were provided to that child. Those are what are reimbursed, and it's only for Medicaid services that were paid out after the creation of the 529.
I see. Okay, I think that's important because I don't think parents necessarily understand that. So I think that's a good point.
And I think it's just a lot of, they're not told that part about it, about the payback provision. That's why it's another tool. It's not the only tool you should be using, but again, it is just one of the tools. It's a great tool to when we have trust set up for individuals that are on benefits. It's a great tool to add and utilize because it allows us to pay certain expenses for that beneficiary that would otherwise create us problems out of a trust. So, but again, those rules are very complicated, and parents should be consulting with an attorney to talk to them about these rules and their overall plan for their child or family.